like the rushing of a mighty wind, like the rushing of a mighty wind.
Hi, how are y'all doing today?
Who is this?
This is the only American dream.
Okay.
The only American dream.
Okay, I'm confused. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Do we have two people going by American on a panel right now?
No.
Yeah, we got American Holo and American Dream. One's Jamaican.
Okay,
American Dream is Jamaican man.
But
He's
to make it
so
easy
American
for you, I
Dream
can make
is
it
the-
easy for you, Docs. I can go by the only American dream.
You know, just
I know
You don't like that?
no. We
I thought you
got
would like
it.
that.
No, we got it.
American Dream is the guy who sees. He sees that it's immigrants who created the American Dream. I remember he said that. Right?
Now, I don't know about that, but he's a Jamaican, and American
Okay,
Holo
alright.
is
I
one.
wanted
He's
to,
an
if I
American.
could, the reason I came in was to because I thought I heard USA Doc say that and maybe you ladies on the panel agree that it was Black Americans that kind of made it possible for Caribbeans to come here, for Black Caribbeans and Black Africans to come here.
Well, it's not all of them. It's for the Hispanics, the Asians, the Arabs, the Indians, the Caribbeans, the Africans. Like all those groups were banned from coming into the United States as in large numbers. They were all banned. So we did make a way. Like those people really, like, we fought in the civil rights in the 60s, right? And we fought against the racist immigration laws, because up until that point, the immigration laws, you can only come into the country if you were white European. So we fought against that. So then in the 1980s, that's when you start seeing large population of Hispanics and Caribbeans and Africans and Asians.
So why did y'all do that?
Arabs.
Why did Black Americans choose to fight for Black immigrants to come here?
We didn't see. We just saw that you guys were not white people, and we assumed that you would be allies. That's what we thought, because you weren't white.
Allies
because we
to
also
what?
knew, and mind you, we already
I'm sorry, hold on.
Hold on. We already had like Native Americans here. We had Asians here, and they experienced racism, not to the extent that we did. So we thought, like, anybody who comes into this country will hopefully be an ally, and we'll be able to kind of stand together against white racism. That's how we saw it.
Okay, so your goal was to.
Wait, that was not what they solely did it for.
Go
What
ahead,
they
Trent.
saw was 100% correct. What they saw was they were only bringing in Europeans, only those from Europe.
That's
So
right.
what she was saying, they were saying, be fair and bring in other people, like of other different races. We didn't ask for them to flood it. I'm not sure if it was an ally thing, because I think, because again, like American Holocaust was saying, we had educated fools who was on that Pan-African group. They were just saying, to be fair, you're just letting in, quote unquote, all white folk. Just those
Right.
from Europe. They didn't want any other here. So they were saying.
So they didn't.
And I don't know if that's an ally thing either. Because
So you don't think that they had any type of goal in mind? You don't think Black Americans had any type of goal? Because the white folks, if I could, the white folks that were bringing in the Europeans, they were bringing in Europeans because they wanted America to be a white nation, and that's why they were mainly bringing in people from Europe. So I'm asking, what she said kind of resonated with that, in terms of Black Americans wanted more Blacks in to ally with them, to fight against this whitening
But
of
we
America,
didn't just,
if you
it
will.
wasn't just having more Black people. We wanted people who were not white to come in. It wasn't specific to Caribbeans and Africans,
Right, sure, and that's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out what was the motivation, like what was the goal, what was your goal? If it wasn't for what I think it's clarity.
Mhm.
What clarity says was that it wasn't for to make allies or to fight against white supremacy. So if it wasn't for those things, clarity, why do you think, what was the motivation of FBA to bring other people here other than white folks?
Could I answer that?
I would say, racial equality, right? I think we was definitely fighting for that. But go ahead, American.
Well, I think the way that we saw it was that we had been through a whole bunch of turmoil, and we understood what it felt like to be the underdog. We understood, what it felt like to, be in lack. And so that's why, like, when Kate is saying that it wasn't just about the color but it was about also the circumstance. And we thought that maybe, one hand washes another, because we didn't know you. We only knew us, and we only knew the white people. And so we thought that we had like minds, but we found out that we didn't. Couldn't be further from the truth. And so, and not only that, when you say that we didn't help you get here, we did. Because what you're failing to also recognize is the fact that, when we went to vote, our vote, that also got you here.
Who said? Did I say that y'all didn't help? Did I say you didn't help?
Listen, sir, you lose the attitude and have a little gratitude.
Attitude? What attitude? I thought that was with an attitude.
Yeah. Did I say you?
No, I was just. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It came off
help?
with an attitude, but I was just because you just said that. What did you say we did?
I think that sometimes y'all get a little offended when we just tell the truth. When I said that you were downtrodden, and we were downtrodden at one time too. And so we, and you got to understand that the same way that you saw us as thugs and stuff, what we saw about, you already know what we saw. You know what National Geographic showed us. And
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely. Right. Yeah, some of the movies too. I started watching this this YouTube station, right? And it's called, you guys can look it up, it's called Creature Features. So they have a whole library of vintage movies, like from the 60s, 70s, going all the way back to the 40s and 30s, right? So I've been watching these movies, and sometimes these movies will be set down in an island, sometimes they're set in Africa, and they do make people look very simple and sometimes primitive. Yeah, go check those movies out.
So, but I'm sure, I'm just trying to be clear. So, are you saying that the reason that y'all did it was to help out those?
Right. I would say
countries?
I guess we call it altruistic, those people. I mean, I don't think we was really helping the countries, but the people,
It was just helping the people.
We also saw like there was a lot of, there's a lot of prosperity in this country. It's a large country. And we saw like people living in much, situations where their countries weren't as developing it. So we like, okay, they come over here and we can share benefits and resources, opportunities. And we kind of thought like it would be better for everyone, like a multicultural, kind of kumbaya kind of a thing. But we didn't realize that a lot of these people had, white supremacist ideologies themselves, and that they were white worshiping and white people. We didn't know that.
Right. So, you guys also say, not only do you say that y'all helped immigrants to come here and that y'all made it possible for immigrants to come here, but you also say that immigrants fled their country to come here.
Yeah, because we see it differently now. American Dream.
But let me just ask the question. I'm asking if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the question I'm asking is if y'all made it possible for us to come here and we fled here, is it also true that FBA are the ones that made it possible for immigrants to flee here? And then after we fled here, because it seems as if after we fled here, you made it possible for us to come here, and then after we came here, now you're making fun of us for fleeing, but y'all are the ones that made it possible for us to flee.
I disagree that. I understand what you're saying, right? Because if you think about it, when we all started coming over here, when we fought against the racist immigration laws, right? We didn't see anybody as fleeing their country, running away to the country. You guys weren't even here, right? So when we started fighting against it, y'all weren't here. We weren't calling nobody's names. And when you came, we had open arms. We figured we're gonna have other communities that are not white, and we're going to have some kind of alliance, and et cetera, et cetera. The decades have passed, and we're all sitting up here talking about we have been experiencing tyranny and racism from all kinds of people from countries all over the world who are not even white. Like, it's set a relation to us. And then on top of that, it's not just a matter of y'all coming here. Like, we never saw y'all as fleas. We just say, okay, people come to America, immigrants America, no big deal. Same things going on.
Kay, let me help you out.
That whole thing with fleet, I would say, started in the last few to several years.
Hang
and it's
on.
because we're saying like people are coming over here, they're taking opportunities and resources from Black America. So it's not a matter of them sharing and saying, okay, we can all share in this together. They're like, oh, look at what they got. We're going to take it from them. We want what they have, right? Like I was telling Trina, like you look, I'm out here in California.
Hey, Kay, you dropped off. Let me help out Kay, though. You got to remember, American Dream. These are, those are our ancestors that fought for you to come here. We didn't fight for you guys to come here. We're the ones feeling the after effect of what our ancestors did. You know, it's the Martin Luther King Jr. era, our ancestors who fought for you guys to come in. We're their kids who feel the after
They're the
effect.
ones that fought for us to flee our country. They're the ones that made it possible for us to flee our country.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And we, their kids, are feeling the after effect, and we're like, wait a minute, hold up. Maybe you know, grandma, granddad, you should have did that. You didn't know, but we're feeling it, so it's time for us to make that change. So yeah. But we're feeling the effect, and so now we're pushing back, like.
Right, because it does seem a little bit.
Hang on.
It does seem, if I could just say this, it does seem a little bit. I don't know if hypocritical is the right word, but it's not really. It just seems a little bit disingenuous. If I could just say what I'm saying, please.
Well, hang on, guys, hang on. Hey, hang on. Hang on. Hey, soulfully, put an avatar up, because I don't want people coming up here doing crazy stuff. I don't know you. So soulfully, put an avatar up. I don't want to see your face. Put an avatar up, because I don't want people doing fuck shit, and we're already 4 hours in, and I don't want to have to ruin the whole live stream. So Soulflower, put your avatar up, and I'll let you up. But I don't want to see anybody's face. I don't want anybody showing their face. I want to see an avatar. Because, you know, people like to do strange stuff. So until you put avatar, I can't let you up soulfully. But go ahead, Trina.
They were not doing it to let them flood in. Wait a minute. They were not all doing it to let them flood in. You had two different mindsets. You had your educated ones who were part of this Pan-African group. And then you had those saying, just be fair. It wasn't for y'all to run in and flee. So that's not true on all prospects either. Because you can clearly see Pan-Africanists who were in our midst had a different agenda for those who were basically fighting for our own rights. A lot of Americans who were doing civil rights will tell you they were not fighting for no Africans or anybody to come here at all.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, but there's one.
Hello?
I thought they did send a
I want to
hand.
say, there's one thing I want to say to American Dream. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I just want to say something to American Dream. You have to look at the numbers, right? And numbers don't lie, right? And so when you look at 1960s, 70s, 80s, the number of people that were coming in, and then you look at now, like there's just a flood of people coming in constantly, right? So it's very different. For now, we don't see you as coming in as immigrants, like, you know, you trickling in here and there. You guys are coming in massive numbers, and it's affected. It's having a negative impact on this country. And like I told them, I'm out here in California. There's massive number of people, Americans, who are living on.
Hey, Kay, we can't even hear you, Kay. Everybody's mic is messing up.
Okay,
go ahead.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, so see what this Hispanic girl was saying. Well, do you ever see Hispanics out on the street begging? Why would you be begging when you're coming in, undercutting the job market? The job pays $10 an hour, and you're going to say, oh, boss man, if you give me that job, I'll do for $5 an hour. Now an American is asked out of a job because of that.
And not only,
if we make it clear, we need to also separate that not everybody was, there were some who fought, a lot of our ancestors did, for them to come here. But if you talk to a lot of them who were in the Civil Rights Commission, a lot of them were not. They were fighting for their own agenda for their own children. They'll tell you that. They had no problems with them coming here, but we're not going to talk like all of them because we're not a monolith wanted them to come here. But for the ones who, they had no problem, but we did not vote for them to come here and be like how they are either. They were just saying fair. But majority of them will tell you they were fighting for their own children.
Okay,
you got them.
Let American Dreams. Okay, hold on. Let American Dreams speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds as if y'all got immigrants. From your perspective, you got immigrants to come here for your own interests, for what you wanted, and then when they got here, they started looking out for their own interests.
About for what I just
hang on. Hey. Okay, hang on. American Dream. Let's have hang on. We're going to settle this right now. We're going to have a professional get in the middle of all of us and tell us what it is. Take it away, professional. It's 1 minute and 49 seconds. Hopefully no commercial. And we're going to let him settle it. Why? Obviously they used the civil rights movement to open it up for Africans and all you guys. But let's just hear 1 minute and 49 seconds. And this should bring some clarity on what the hell happened in 1965. Here we go.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed at that time when the U.S. Congress was passing.
So let me stop. He said the Immigration Act that changed who can come here was directly because of the Civil Rights Movement. So hang on.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure.
So the reason why Africans, Caribbeans, Latinos, Asian, MENA, Arabs are able to come here first and foremost is because of the civil rights. One more time, listen.
Seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure.
That's what allowed you guys to come here, civil rights. And who's the face of civil rights? Martin Luther King Jr. and our ancestors. So it was the civil rights movement that opened the door for all you guys. But everybody just be quiet for a minute and 49 seconds. I'm going to let it play through. Here we go.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed at that time when the U.S. Congress was passing a variety of civil rights laws, of course, the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And those laws eliminated discrimination, racial discrimination, prohibited racial discrimination in public accommodations. And there was a feeling in Congress that that same notion of ending discrimination should also be applied to U.S. immigration policy. Up until 1965, U.S. immigration policy was heavily biased in favor of Europeans, and in particular Northern and Western Europeans. Tens of thousands of immigrant visas were reserved for Northern and Western Europeans, while Southern and Eastern Europeans, and especially Asians and Africans and Middle Easterners, had very little chance to immigrate to the United States. They were discriminated against on the basis of their national origins. And there was a feeling across the country and in Congress that it was time to end that discriminatory practice. So the 1965 Immigration Act abolished what had been this national origin quota system that had been in place for more than 40 years. People from all countries, nationalities had more or less an equal opportunity to immigrate to the United States. So it was a really landmark law in the history of U.S. immigration law.
There you go. You can argue from that point. There you go. It was a civil rights movement that was the foundation to allowing Africans and Caribbeans. This one more time.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed.
There you go. Civil rights measure. So there you go. That settles it. The reason why you guys are able to come here is because of us. The why behind it, yeah, I'm not going to argue that. Did our ancestors literally fight for you guys to come in? Some would say yes, some would say no. I'm not going to argue that. But what cannot be argued is the reason why you were allowed in, whether through us or the white man, was civil rights. One more time.
That has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure.
So that's why you're here. Civil rights. Our civil rights is the only reason you're here. For what purpose? I'm not even debating that. But what cannot be debated is it was our ancestors fighting for civil rights that allowed you guys to come here. Period. Now, backup or not, so Trina said no, some say yes. That doesn't matter. The fact is you're here because of us. That's all.
But the fact is the reason why immigrants flee their homeland is because FBA made it possible for them to do so.
Y'all flee your homeland.
No, that's not the reason why.
Wait. What you mean? That's not the reason why. We just said the reason the civil rights.
Not the reason why American dream. Come on now.
That's y'all choose to flee. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah. You choose to flee.
We're even able to flee. Hold on. The reason we're able to flee is because of what FBA did with the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'll take no. Hang on. K, hang on. Yeah, but K, yeah, that's true. The reason why everyone is able to flee here today is because of us. That's true. Everyone.
Right.
Africans, Caribbeans, Latinos, Asians, because the foundation of the Immigration Act was based on our ancestors, civil rights. Right. So yeah, our actions allowed everyone to flee here. Yes.
Right. So we flee here because of you guys, because you guys made it possible.
No. Stop. American dream. American dream. Hang on. We didn't make you flee. You choose to flee. But we open the doors for those who choose to flee. You can come in.
So what was the civil rights about? You said it was a civil rights act.
Okay, listen. No. American dream. No, American dream. Listen, you said what? Civil rights. Here we go. Listen, bro.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed at that time when the U.S. Congress was passing a variety of civil rights laws. Of course, the 1964 Civil Rights.
There you go. So there you go. It's our ancestors' American dream. Now go ahead and add what you want to add. Our ancestors allowed you guys to flee here. Now we didn't make you guys flee here. That's your own. See, you have agency. You people chose to flee, but we opened the door for those who chose to flee. We opened the door. That's all you can say. We didn't make you flee.
You know, the first person that responded to my question said the reason that FBA did it was to help them, was so immigrants could come and help them fight against white supremacy.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah, American dream all the time as well.
American dream.
Can I say a sentence without you cutting me off?
I'm trying to help you out. Listen, some people thought. Okay, no, some people thought that, and some people didn't. But continue. Go ahead.
Right. So, from your view, because you seem to think it was a civil rights thing, right?
No, American dream. No, I gotta take you down, bro. It's not what I think. Listen to the professional one more time. I'm not giving you my opinion. The Immigration Act that allowed you to come was a civil rights act based off the civil rights movement. One more time. Listen, American Holo. I'm not saying this. These are the experts.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed at that time when the U.S. Congress was passing a variety of civil rights laws. Of course, the 1964 Civil Rights.
There you go. Civil Rights Act. There you go. Martin Luther King sitting right there. So that is not disputable. You can't dispute that. But continue on. Go ahead.
All right. So Black Americans, one right that Black Americans wanted was to sit in the same restaurant. Right?
Yes, all that.
So that was a civil right. So when you say that this getting immigrants here was a civil right for who? And what right? A civil right for who?
Okay, you don't understand. There's a lot of white people. Let me help. Okay, let me help you. Easy. Easy. It was white people were racist, right? And so we fought for our civil rights and showed people how racist. We showed white people how racist they were. And then white people were like, yeah, you're right. We're really racist. So since they fought for these civil rights, right? They're right. We're going to give them these civil rights. And what we should also do to show you our repentance and we're not trying to be racist anymore. What we're going to do is open up the floodgates to everybody. Based off the civil rights.
Why is that a right for Black Americans? Why is it a right for Black Americans to have other Black immigrants come? Why is that a right that Black Americans have?
How is that
hang on. No, American dream. It's not a right. Listen to me. The reason why you are allowed to come here, because we shamed white people so much that they felt remorse for a moment. Like, at least the people in charge felt remorse. Like, damn, we're really racist. And so they signed all the civil rights movement to get us out of racist Jim Crow. And they say, you know what? This immigration system is really racist too, because we're only allowing Northern Europeans. We're not allowing Africans and Caribbeans and Latinos and Asians. So to show the world and show these Negroes how repentant we are, we're going to open that up too, to show these Negroes how we're not trying to be racist anymore. So we're going to get you out of Jim Crow, and we're going to open up the borders for other immigrants to show you we're not racist anymore. That's what it's about.
The reason that immigrants flee their homeland is so that white people could make Black Americans feel good about themselves.
The reason why who? Say it again.
The reason that immigrants flee their homeland is so that white folks can make Black Americans feel good about themselves.
No, you see, okay, no, American Home. American Dream. I don't know if it's the Jamaican in you. No one forced you to flee. That is your own agency. Let me give you an example. There's somebody in Haiti called Barbecue.
I didn't say forced. I said made it possible. You didn't force us to flee. You made it possible for us to flee.
Okay, okay. Made it possible,
FBA,
yes.
We wouldn't have fled, right?
No, you wouldn't have fled here. You would have fled someplace. You could have fled. No, because
we would have fled somewhere where they would have.
Stop. You could have fled. I was going to say that to Europe. So it's not like you couldn't have fled. You could have fled to Latin America. Hell, Africans are fleeing to Mexico right now. So you still would have fled, just not to America, right?
Yeah, but they have something called island hopping, where people from different islands go to other islands. Like they go from Jamaica to the Bahamas, Bahamas to Haiti, whatever. They do that over there.
We only go to countries where people make it possible. We only go to countries where people make it possible for us to come.
No, that's not true. No, hang on. Hang on. I'm going to tell you that's not true, because you guys snuck through the southern border, right? During Biden era, you guys snuck through the southern border. That was illegal, and you still did it. That's why you guys are getting deported. In fact, Jamaican Dream, right now there's about 100,000 Jamaicans here illegally. That is proof what you just said is wrong, because there's at least 1/10 of all Jamaicans are here illegally. So don't come here and say, well, you guys made it legal. No. It's because you guys made it legal. No, because 1/10 of all Jamaicans are here illegally. That goes directly against your case.
But there are more people here legally. There are more Jamaicans here legally than illegally. So there are more Jamaicans here that y'all made possible to come than the ones that just fled on their own.
Yeah, we opened the door. We opened the door. Okay, go ahead.
Most of the ones that fled, most Jamaicans and Caribbeans that flee their homelands to come here, flee their homeland because y'all made it possible, because y'all needed them to come here and help y'all out.
No, stop. No. That's a lie. We didn't.
That is a lie.
Okay, stop. No, stop.
That is a lie.
No, but hang on, American Dream. I know. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Hang on, Trina. Hang on, Trina. I know Tariq Nasheed likes to say that. So I'm not going to berate you, Jamaican Dream. Tariq Nasheed loves to say, well, we wanted you guys to come in as backup. That's simply not true. I'm sure some did, but overall, no. You guys were let in because the white man felt remorse and wanted to show, hey, we're not racist anymore. We're going to get you out of Jim Crow, and we're going to open up the borders to third world people, right? But Tariq Nasheed likes to say, I agree with you, Jamaican Dream. Oh, we wanted backup. That's not true. We never needed backup. We didn't need backup to get out of slavery, and we damn sure we didn't need backup to get out of Jim Crow. That's a lie. They opened it up. The white man, we didn't open it up. The white man opened it up to show us they're not racist, at least the elite class, the people in power.
I'd like to add some context to that.
Yeah, the people in power is like, hey, we're not racist anymore. We're going to open it up. And then the white man, so that's, go ahead, Tina.
But
your mic, hang on, Trina, your mic is messed up. I'm trying to hear you, but your mic keeps breaking up. But go ahead, Jamaican.
Yeah, but if Tariq is correct,
he's not correct. I just gave you that.
I know you think he's not correct.
Well, I just gave you the expert, bro.
I got that. But if Tariq is correct, and FBA made it possible for blacks to come here to help them fight white supremacy, then the reason black immigrants flee here, right, is because black Americans made it possible for them to come. Black Americans opened up the gates for people to flee here. And then once they fled here, black Americans are now saying, where y'all going? Go back. We don't want y'all here.
Okay, so, listen. American Dream.
How do you guys live with yourselves?
Okay, American Dream, listen. Our ancestors did not open up the floodgates for you. They did not. Martin Luther King Jr. did. No. Hang on. It was the white man that opened up the floodgates to show repentance to us, not to you. The white man said, okay, you're right. You guys have embarrassed us, the civil rights movement. We're going to get you out of Jim Crow, and we're going to change the Immigration Act to show you and the world we're not racist anymore. Obviously, they still were, right? So let everybody in the chat and the panel listen. The only reason all these immigrants were let in is because of the white man wanted to show the world and us they're not racist. Still racist, but that was their show of hand. Hey, we're not racist anymore, and we're going to show you we're not racist because we're going to now let in Africans and Caribbeans and Latinos, which were not allowed in like that. So it was the white man who did this. We had nothing to do with it. Our ancestors had nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? It was the white man. He held the power. We were in Jim Crow. We had no power to open the gates. It was the white man who opened the gates, but he did it because of us. We didn't do it. He did it because of us. You see the difference? So understand, American Dream. We didn't open that fucking gate. The white man did because of us. And if you don't believe me, Everybody listen one more time. The white man opened up the gate to Africans and Caribbeans and Latinos because of us. We did not do it. Martin Luther King Jr. did it. The white man did it. One more time.
The 1965 Immigration Act has to be seen first and foremost as a civil rights measure. It was passed at that time when the U.S. Congress was passing a variety of civil rights laws, of course, the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And those laws eliminated discrimination, racial discrimination, prohibited racial discrimination in public accommodations. And there was a feeling in Congress that...
See, there was a feeling amongst white people.
In public accommodation.
Watch, white people did this. We didn't do this. So Tariq Nasheed, if he says, well, we fought to get you guys here to fight for us and with us, that's a lie. Listen.
And there was a feeling in Congress.
A feeling amongst white elite.
That same notion of...
That same notion like we are racist.
Ending discrimination.
Ending racism, ending discrimination.
Should also be applied.
Should also be applied to y'all motherfuckers.
To U.S. immigration policy.
There you go. See, they did it to show us, hey, man, we're not racist. And one of the ways we're going to show you, we got you out of Jim Crow. Now we're going to open the borders to show you Negroes. We're not racist. So they did it to show us and the world.
Up until 1965.
Let's finish it.
U.S. immigration policy.
See, up to 1965, you guys were not allowed in any large numbers.
Heavily biased in favor of Europeans, and in particular Northern and Western Europeans. So tens of thousands of immigrant visas were reserved for Northern and Western Europeans, while
they should have kept it that way.
While Southern and Eastern Europeans, and especially Asians and Africans and Middle Easterners.
What? He said Africans and Caribbeans are thrown in there too? Look, he's like Africans. Look.
And Middle Easterners had very little chance to immigrate to the...
Africans have had very little chance. Now there's like 3 or 4, 5 million Africans, right? Africans had very little chance coming.
Africans and Middle Easterners.
Yeah, Africans.
Especially Asians and Africans.
Africans. See, Africans owe us.
Africans
and Caribbeans
had very little chance to immigrate to the United States. They were discriminated against on the basis of their national origin.
Yeah, you're from Africa, you ain't coming here. The Caribbean, unless you're going to be sharecropping, you ain't coming here. Latin America, unless you're working in those farm fields, you ain't coming here. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, you ain't coming here. The Indian, the Bangladesh, the Arab, you ain't coming here.
And there was a feeling across the country and in Congress that it was time to end that discriminatory...
See, it was the white man, once again. It was the white man in power. Like, you know, we need to stop being racist.
That it was time to end that discriminatory practice.
Based off us.
So the 1965 Immigration Act abolished what had been this national origin quota system that had been in place for more than 40 years. People from all countries, nationalities had more or less an equal opportunity to immigrate to the United States. So it was a really landmark law in the history of U.S. immigration law.
So the white man did it. There you go. That's just a fact.
Sure, and I'm not contending that. Like, the white man opened the gate because the black man convinced them to. I'm not debating that. That's fine.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is
the USA.
The only thing I'm saying is
let American Dream finish.
Yeah, let me just
go
finish
ahead.
my
Sure.
thought. Let me just finish my thought. All I'm saying is it just seems really disingenuous for Black Americans to say that they are the ones, because according to Tariq, they are the ones that made it possible for Caribbean people to flee their homeland, right? And then once they flee their homeland, Black Americans start telling them to go back and fix up their homeland that's messed up because they fled. But y'all are the ones that made it possible for us to flee. So how can you now look back at them and say, oh, why y'all fleeing? Y'all messing up your homeland. Where we fled because of you, because you invited us here to help you fight your fight.
No, stop. No, American Dream, stop. We didn't help you. We didn't open the gates to help us fight anything. The white man did it to show remorse. Stop saying that. Anybody who says, well, we brought you here to fight with us, that's a lie. The white man opened the gates. We didn't have the power. We were Jim Crow still, right? 1965, we were still Jim Crowed. We didn't have the power. The white man opened up the gates. Because we shamed the white man, he opened up the gates. So no, you gotta stop saying like we brought you here to fight. No, anybody saying that's a damn lie. No, some amongst us may have felt that way.
It was a civil rights act.
Yeah, but the white man opened up.
You did it for civil rights,
bro.
And I don't think even Tariq
Stop.
did that.
The white man did it. We didn't do it. And we have every right to say our ancestors got that one wrong. But it wasn't our ancestors who opened the gates. It was the white man who opened the gates. So I don't blame our ancestors. It's the white man. You got to blame the white man. You let too many of these motherfuckers in. So finish up and let homeboy. Hang on. Finish up American Dream and then let homeboy.
It would be nice if you would just let me finish my thought.
Finish up.
I could have been finished by now.
Finish up your thought and let homeboy respond. Go ahead.
The white man may have brought us here to show remorse to you, but you wanted us here to help fight with you. That's why you wanted us here. Doesn't matter what the white man's intention was. We're talking about what your intention was. Your intention was for us to come here to fight against white supremacy with you, to fight against racial injustice with you. That was your intention, to make your numbers more significant, so that you had more political power. That was your intention. It is really crazy that FBA, the same people that made it possible for Black Americans to flee their homeland, FBA said to them,
Black Americans
come over here.
Okay.
We need you to come fight with us. Come. And then the minute we get here and start fighting with y'all say, go back. We don't want you no more. Go fix up the country. You fled and messed up your country. Go fix it up. We were here fixing up your shit. And now you're looking at us talking about your country is messed up. Go back now. Like, that's some hypocritical, shameful.
Go ahead, land your plane.
Like, there's nothing more shameful than that. There is nothing more shameful than that. The fact that y'all invite these people here to help you fight, and once they got here and help you fight and win, you want to run them back and say, go back and fix up the country.
Go ahead, Land.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Here's the last thing I'd want to say. The last thing I'd want to say, let me just finish this, please. It's not going to take long. The last thing I would say, USA docs, is that given that if Tariq is true, and y'all made it possible for immigrants to come here, and that's the reason why our home countries are all messed up, is because we fled, FBA may owe us some reparations for our home countries. Because y'all are the ones that made it possible for us to flee, come here and fix up your country. We definitely deserve some of y'all reparations.
When you hear Pan-Africanists say they were here to fight numbers, we're not a monolith. When I was talking to my mom and my aunt Simon when they were fighting, it was not for no Africans or Caribbean. If that was the case, why didn't even start really getting to know you until the mid 80s and 90s? We weren't even hanging together as groups like that in certain areas. So it was not to get no numbers. Many of us don't even hang with you till today. It was not about numbers. It was just simply to be fair. That was it.
Right.
Now, Pan-Africanists will give you the illusion that we needed numbers, and that's a lie that you want to believe. That's on you, because Pan-Africanism is not real. But I'm here to tell you, most Americans, we're not thinking about any numbers. And
of course y'all were thinking about numbers. You were thinking about, hold on, can I just respond to that?
No,
can I respond to that?
Thinking about numbers.
Facts.
Can I respond to that?
If you're going to respond ignorantly, no. If you're going to respond,
I never respond ignorantly, so let me respond.
Or you want to respond like a child, you can respond. Go ahead.
Okay, so you absolutely were thinking about the numbers. How do we know that? Because you were worried about the white man's numbers. The reason you even started the Civil Rights Act is because you realized the white man was bringing in only his numbers, and your numbers were staying exactly where it was. So your idea was to bring us in to combat the numbers that the white man was bringing in. Don't tell me it wasn't about numbers. Of course it was. Don't tell, oh, it was just out of the goodness of your heart. Nonsense. That's ridiculous. And anybody who buys that is ridiculous.
Later, that's how it's false. You were not even let in until the 80s, so that is false.
Who wasn't letting on till the 80s?
Hang on, hang on.
The 1965
no, American
bill?
Dream,
I thought this was
American.
the 1965 bill.
Hang on, American Dream. Show me your proof. What you just said. Show it.
My proof of what?
What you just said, that you were brought here to be the front line to fight white supremacy. Where's your proof? That's a lie, but go ahead. Where's your proof? Go ahead.
Tariq says it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Tariq will tell you. He's there you go. That's a lie. So there you go. You were. Hang on. No, I gotta take you down for a second. So there you go. Jamaican Dream source is Tariq Nasheed, somebody who didn't graduate from high school, somebody who tells you he's not a leader. That's his source. Come on, come on, American Dream. Stop being so idiotic. His source is Tariq Nasheed.
Before I got there, I warned y'all in the chat.
Nobody brought you in for force. We never needed you. We wanted you here. We never needed you, and we didn't even open the doors. The white man did. We never needed you. We got out of slavery without you and got out of Jim Crow without you. We never needed you, bro. So stop. Tariq Nasheed is his source. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man.
Keep in mind, they didn't start coming in until 20 years later during the Reagan years. And they didn't even let them come in like that. So it was never about numbers. They still watch their numbers until today. The most they got in here was through Biden when they started flooding it. If you think about the 1960s, I want y'all to do the research. They didn't really start letting them in until the 80s. Right when Jesse Jackson did that African bullshit.
That's what I said, Trina, that if you start looking at the numbers, we didn't have large-scale non-European people coming to the country in the 1980s. And I know because I'm Muslim, my family moved to Texas in the early 80s, and that's when Aramco, which was the governing body of the Saudi Arabian oil industry, they had their U.S. headquarters in Houston, Texas, right? Because Houston used to be an oil town. So we had so many Muslims from all these Muslim countries in the Middle East that were working for Aramco in the oil industry. So I was meeting people that were Egyptian and Moroccan and Tunisian and Malaysian and Pakistani, Indian, Iraqi, just the whole nine, right? And that's when we start seeing a large influx. There was a large 80s, a large influx of Hispanics, Caribbean, Africans, Arabs, Indians, and Asians. Yes, in the 1980s. That's when they started coming.
And if I can,
I literally got in college, my first and second semester. Most of us have not even been exposed to Africans to date. But we needed them for numbers. We don't even hang with them on a social context. No offense. Most people will tell you.
No, I'm taking.
People.
I want to add to what that sister.
You didn't want our numbers to come hang out at your party, lady. You wanted our numbers for voting and stuff like that, not to come hang out with you at the park. Jesus
USA Docs, can I speak?
No, we didn't need you guys' numbers for voting because when you first come into this country, you guys can't vote, so that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
Wow.
Okay. Boom. He said boom.
Around you. We don't need to. And let's get this clear. They did it to be fair. My mother and my ancestors were not fighting for the likes of you. It was to be fair. Period. So now that we're over with all of that, now they're going to reverse it. So now, hypocritical or not, you can go the fuck back home and do what you gotta do.
Well, Trina,
you gotta give me my reparations, though. You gotta give me my reparations.
Hang on.
My home.
Hang on.
That's not from them.
Well, hang on. Everybody in the chat on the panel, we never needed Caribbeans and Africans. We never did. And we still don't need them. They don't add anything to us. What have Africans and Caribbeans done for us? Nothing. If anything, they get on our reparation panels and fight against us. So again, we've never needed Africans, ever. In fact, our ancestors looked down upon Africans throughout slavery and Jim Crow. That's a fact. Even Henry Louis Gates says, yeah, for centuries, we looked down at Africans as barbaric and they need to be saved and Christianized. So we've never needed Africans. We never needed Caribbeans. We never needed Latinos. We never needed anybody. All we've ever needed was ourselves and a handful of powerful white people. That's it. All our glory has come from ourselves and a handful of powerful white people. Let me make an example. We became superstars in the NBA by ourselves and a handful of powerful white people. We became superstars in the NFL by ourselves and a handful of powerful white people. We became superstars in Major League Baseball by ourselves and a handful of white people, handful of powerful white people. That's all we've ever needed is ourselves and a handful of powerful white people. We've never needed Africans. We never need Caribbeans, and we never will. These are all third world people, very beautiful people, but we've never needed them. But I'm going to tell you who does need Africans and Caribbeans is Africa and the Caribbeans.
They do.
They definitely need you guys. We don't need you. We're the greatest people on earth all by ourselves with a handful of powerful white people. But Africa needs you Africans, and the Caribbean needs you Caribbeans. We don't need you. You didn't get us out of slavery. You didn't get us out of Jim Crow, and you don't add to our numbers. So, yeah, there you go. Go ahead, guys. Take it away.
That's a whole fact.
Because y'all are ungrateful.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. But mind them up to one hygiene a tweet. That's why enough of them get rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she buy in a read. Not even 5 bills we can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go sleep. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go live. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the seed. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. This a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah. Everybody just a pre-success. When me looking at the street, you me see enough stress. Them all a fight for who reach up next. Everybody want floss and a beat up chest. Juvenile in a them teen love sex. Them a breed the fast money, them no need subjects. And if you're unfortunate, please don't vex. I saw the things said cause the streets don't
In
rest.
the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah. It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. But mind them up to one hygiene a tweet. That's why enough of them get rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she buy in a read. Not even 5 bills we can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go sleep. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go live. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the seed. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah.